Okay, so this is one. It's not too complicated, but it's one I've been needing to build for a very long time. I was messing a little bit with like Bronco in the Obsessive Pursuit build. I've been messing with like a lot of mono black versions, but honestly, like Rakdos just looks really good. Um, Rakdos just looks really good, and I've been getting really distracted in other shells. But we've had a lot of success with various Rakdos mid-range shells, even through the MH3 era. They've kind of quietly been pretty solid, and um, I've always really liked the like this package of a bunch of cheap Rakdos one drops. The discard plus DRC Ragavan has been a big part of these shells since the Luris days. Got taken over by the Grief Scam stuff. Grief and Fury banned. Now this is kind of how you build Rakdos again. And Airship just, of course, gives this archetype the ability to outgrind in the late game while having all the cheap interaction. You have these like really cheap, super efficient early turns, and you have a much better late game now due to Airship. And so it's not the most complicated build, but it's one that we've been needing to do, and now we're here. Um, Wanting to main deck a lot of Nihil Spellbombs with how much Flage there is in the format at the moment. And then, of course, also Spellbomb is good with Airship, where at a very simple level, it sacrifices to trigger the Airship. But also, in your Airship deck, you need to have a degree of card selection, because you don't want your Airships just sitting in there while you're hoping the top of your deck is like a fetch land or a Bauble. So just the more you're turning through your deck, the better. Fable of the Mirror Breaker also fills that role. Dragon Rage's Channeler fills that role. Usually I would play Cling to Dust in these shells, but I think the Nihil Spellbombs are a bit better for this deck. Maybe not better in the format overall, but that's why we're playing that. No creatures that are really good with Arena of Glory besides Channeler, so we're not playing Arena. We are playing one Phyrexian Tower. You can actually turn two Airship by hitting your opponent with Ragavan and towering it into an Airship into play, but I don't think this build really wants to be super in on that. This build is a little bit slower, a little bit grindier. And honestly, I feel like it just I don't know why it took us so long to get to this point. Last time I compared a card to a broken card, it didn't go. When I said Ketchermos is like Oko because you must answer it or you can't outgrind it, everyone lost their freaking minds. But I hope that that's uh, explaining some of my thinking on the card too. May have missed it, but consider Airship in a Cat Oven shell. Cat Oven's not good in Modern. Is kind of the problemo. There have been some metagames where I felt it's okay. So like basically the Murktide metagame. I like Cat Oven was really good against Murktide, and that's about it. I we are trying to look at we're trying to look at. Okay, that's an interesting top deck. We're trying to look at Obsessive Pursuit and then Oni Cult Anvil with Ambush Viper, sorry, Rottenmouth Viper, and possibly you could play Cat Oven there, but it's probably not correct. Main phasing, I think this deck is likely enough to have Bowmaster that I'll just main phase. They do also have discard spells, but we already have like the best card for them to discard in our hand. So they've got a Tainted Indulgence. The Exile and Dreams of Steel and Oil will be good. We also have a bunch of main deck Nihil Spellbombs. So they do have another Thoughtseize. And then I guess, the really the main draw we get punished with our plan to like not play around a Thoughtseize is another Airship. Because I'm like, well, I can correct the Bauble because they're just going to Thoughtseize the Airship anyways. But then we just drew another one. But maybe this is a blessing in the disguise because now we get to keep having our Airships. I'm going to lead on the Thoughtseize because I might want to take the Indulgence since they're missing land drops here. Let's graveyard this. We're looking for a land to just cast the Airship. They have 2 copies of Tainted Indulgence. They also have a Spell Pierce, which I think I'll take since that's kind of the scariest castable card. Or maybe it's the Dismember. I think it's the Spell Pierce. Okay, I was kind of hoping they would draw a land, but they drew a tap land. I have been liking this card in the like Dimir Reanimator shells. I think it looks pretty cool. Now we do get to Dreams of Steel and Oil, the Archon of Cruelty. Although they get to start indulgencing. Now we've added fetch lands. I think it's probably still correct for me to hold the Delta. Okay, rewarded again. That isn't 2 copies. Oh, they have Drown in the luck? Sorry, I totally read this as 2 Tainted Indulgences. So I guess this gets drowned then. Okay, good catch. I don't think our play changes at all, but I have not seen a Drown in the luck in a long time. So they main phase their Tainted Indulgence this time. Did they find another Archon? It would get Pierce too. I thought seize the Pierce. They discard Damnation. So now we know no cards in their hand. But I guess I should have taken the... Oh, you're saying if I had taken the Drown instead. I think it's better to take the Pierce because they were at the time because they were stuck on mana. Yeah, Frog is definitely one of those cards that Drown is so good against. Speaking of the Frog. Although there's not really a lot of Frog in the metagame. Maybe that's their thought in keeping it. Could have maybe played the Airship that turn, but I think I just wanted to Thoughtseize them while they had 1 card in their hand. So they draw a card, discard a card with you know, I don't feel like they said the name of this place in the show. It's Agna Kala? Is that how you say it? They've got a Shieldred's Edict on top over there. Oh, I remember the Grixis control deck. I'll never forget that one. So they had a Shieldred's Edict mystery card. They're going to loot again. They Indulgence, which is a draw 2 instead of a loot. It's nice that we can kill an Archon if they do reanimate one and just kind of lean on these. It's in the books, I'm sure never in the show. Yeah, I didn't end up reading all the comics. I read some of them. Alright, so they have the Edict up. So we heat the Tamiyo. And then we'll make them... Oh, you know what's funny here is I don't need to sacrifice anything to Phyrexian Tower. Their Shieldred's Edict is going to enable my Airship. Oh, or they're going to cast the Edict and lose the game immediately instead of being able to have a top deck, which I'm actually not okay with. I'm not okay with this. I wanted to trigger my airships with their Shieldred's Edict. Not if they end of turn it. Well, they can't end of turn it because they are dead otherwise. Case in point. Okay, I guess let's bring in these graveyard trespassers. Maybe that doesn't make as much sense. Like the trespasser is only good if Archon's in the yard, but it's also just kind of a good card against them in general. Yeah, I think it does make sense. Do we think they have Bowmaster? I'm not sure, obviously. I think on the draw we can afford to go down like 2 Ragavan, maybe Heat number 4. Oh, actually, I accidentally dragged Heat number 4. I meant to drag 3 Ragavan, and then I wanted to. My subconscious is playing for me. I think this is probably a 2 push, 3 Heat's probably an okay split here, plus the discard spells. Deck building question. I guess it's based on many factors, but how do you decide when it's okay to have more 2-drops than 1-drops in a deck? I normally force having more 1-drops so I can have a chance to play as many spells on odd turns as well. So, you know, deck building answer, the answer is usually it depends. So the answer is usually it depends. Sometimes, like Storm is a deck that wants to have more 2-drops than 1-drops because they're reducing this cost of all of their 2-drops to 1 mana, you know? Another thing about modern deck building, and you know, this deck we're playing right now is kind of a big exception to the rule, but because of Boros energy, you do not build normal deck list in modern very often. You do. It's very rare that you can find an archetype that is playing a normal mana curve and like threats plus mana curve, you know. And yes, like you do want to play a lot of 1-drops in general. Like in general, you'd like to play more 1-drops than 2-drops, but it all just kind of depends. But deck building in Modern is very weird most of the time. And mana curves are like, and sometimes a bit more of an abstract concept because of that. Like think about like the Cascade Birthing Ritual deck. You know, how do you even think about the mana curve in a deck where like your Solitudes are 5 or 0 and your Riddlers are 2 or 5 and your Charlotte's Agents are always 3 and then Ritual's 2, but it's only good with other cards. It's like the concept of the mana curve sort of like there's a lot more to take in than like your normal deck building stuff. Yeah, we're talking a little bit about playing Dwarven Mine. But it's I don't love the idea of we're gonna play Dwarven Mine to crew Airship more often, and then we're also gonna play lands that don't let you play Dwarven Mine to sack the tokens. But it's kind of interesting. Isn't the first copy of Kroxa usually worth it? No, I think Kroxa is really mostly only worth it if you're playing Arena of Glory and potentially like discard effects too. Like yeah, I don't think the first copy of Kroxa is usually worth it. I think that the first copy of Kroxa is usually good if you're playing Arena of Glory and or looting. Like imagine you play against Boros Energy, which might happen sometimes in this format. No, okay, if we don't draw an untapped land for the Indulgence, I guess they're just going to main phase to flip the Tamiyo. Imagine you're playing against Boros Energy in 2025. Your opponent has gone Guide of Souls on turn 1. You are lucky enough to be on the play. Uh, and you play Kroxa on turn 2, and they discard Flage. You're going to feel like a freaking idiot, dude. You know, it's like it's just Kroxa is not Kroxa is fine if you're Rakdos and you're already playing Arena. Dude, they drew Archon. Yeah, sorry, 2026. Right. And I wish that wasn't the case. I really like Kroxa, but okay, no, I didn't see this. Dude, 2 corrupted conviction, 2 village rights to play around surgical. Just great deck building. Creature count seems low. I kind of what I've been Archon. All right, well, I guess we're going to game 3. On the play, I'm interested in more Ragavans. I think I can trim Bauble number 4. DRC number 4. I do think that the main deck Leylines are really cool. Main deck Leylines like insane in a lot of matchups, or maybe just Prowess actually. Maybe it's not insane in a lot of matchups and it's just very good against Prowess. Crazy deck though. Wait, this won the challenge? Day Modern is sick. Okay, on the play. I think MTG top 8 got the order wrong. You know, that's a good theory. I'm gonna choose to believe instead. However, I'm gonna choose to believe in something, chat. Something you would know nothing about. Okay, reveal the Otawara. Fatally pushed. I think I might main phase the Bowmaster to play around Tainted Indulgence a little bit. Although I guess I kind of would like for them to play Tainted Indulgence, but I'm gonna main phase. I think it's fine. The Fatal Push also, like, I don't really care about them frogging anymore. Alright, let's go to combat first. So they might Indulgence in response to this if they have Archon. No, they wouldn't, because then I would still get to exile it from the graveyard. Although they might. Brain fart, I don't know. So they do have 2 Indulgence. They also have Drown in the lock. It's interesting that they did not drown this. They have the Spell Pierce. So, I mean, it seems like... it seems like I want to play a Nihil Spellbomb because I don't want them to just drown the Bowmaster right now, since the Bowmaster is good against this Indulgence in their hand. Yeah, they do just drown instead, which is fine, because now we get to play the second Nihil Spellbomb. Probably good to get the second Swamp here, right? I might just draw 2 red spells. We'll see. All Oh, sorry. They had a second Tainted Indulgence that I clicked off, although now it's accurate. All right, so they discard a Persist. They have 5 cards in their hand. They play Island instead of the Odawara. And we draw a Raucous Theater. Let's go ahead and play that first, I suppose. See if we find like a Ragavan or something to play. I think I will still just crack main phase. Since we got 2. All right, Orcish Bowmaster, you got to go the distance. Or, sorry, not Bowmaster, Bowmaster's friend. This guy's got 0.2 power toughness, 0.2 power toughness, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. They cycle the Lorien revealed. There's an opponent out there. I can go the distance. They do keep a card on top. Okay. We have a Spell Pierce, so let's not play into that. Do I push or do I heat? I wish they had one more card in their hand, so I might bait them into discarding their whole hand here. Let's Surveil. No thanks. Yeah, he kills Arkansa push, kills Flip Tamio. I didn't say that out loud, but that was my thinking. This is weak to like Nihil Spellbomb though. All right, there's the Tamio. So I probably want to. So they can Odawara it back to their hand, though, is the thing. So I was thinking we could heat it now so that we could play Fable if we top deck it through Spell Pierce, but probably want to do upkeep because of Odawara. They did not cast the Tainted Indulgence because they are playing around my Unholy Heats. They also didn't play the Indulgence on their turn. Weird. So we heat, they Odawara, then replay the Tamio. Could they not have Spell Pierce to heat if they played the Indulgence? I can't remember how low. No, I guess we had the ability to pay still. They're going to Spell Pierce Mystery card. Their Mystery card is not a land. So now we can block the Tamio. I'm going to hold the tower in my hand because of Thoughtseize. They might Thoughtseize it. Or cast the Thoughtseize. Great to get this through the Spell Pierce, by the way. Might be a little awkward next turn if I like need to sack this to keep airshipping, but then they can get in with the Tamio. Although, we'll see if we can just get them here. Kroxa Arena will be sick here. Well, I don't love to play Arena with just for Kroxa necessarily. You could, obviously. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Oh, they can flip the Tamio with the clue in this land. That's cool. But I don't know. Kroxa Arena is not that good. It is pretty good. It's something we've done. It's like it's not. Some people think Kroxa is just unplayable, but it's like it's not like really the reason to be Rakdos. It's more like you kind of end up doing that sometimes if you're already playing Rakdos, if that makes sense. All right, they don't see the line with this card, maybe, or maybe they just want to do something else. They play a Bowmaster to kill my Orc army. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if they just missed the line or if they felt like this was important. I mean, I think without the knowledge of the Phyrexian Tower, they probably... without the knowledge of the Phyrexian Tower, I would have thought that they would have done this, but maybe they didn't see the line. Oh, this is... Oh, sorry, I thought this was 2 mana to activate. Okay, fair enough. That would be an illegal play then. All right, they're surveilling. They put a Sunken Ruins into their graveyard. And we draw another land, unfortunately. We're only playing 21 lands in the deck. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we only have 8 lands, 8 and 33 chance to draw a land. And some of our lands are good top decks because they airship. Okay, Fable, great draw. Maybe a little bit awkward with the Orc army situation here. Could have played this to play around another Spell Pierce. Kind of interested in discarding it. Do I attack and sack? Maybe I don't. Yeah, I guess I actually don't sack the Shaman token here. I think I need to. I think my life total is a little low, and I think I'm also interested in blocking the Tamio again. I think Crocus is decent as Delirium / Airship fodder since he can sack himself. I mean, not the worst, not the worst. But I like let me know if you think there's a card in our deck that would be that Crocus would be better than. Are they discarded Archon? It's possible that they also have a Persist. Although I think they would have cast it already. Well, let's try to go blocking. They still don't have the mana to do this thing. With some kind of 1/1 generator like Fountain Port be good in the deck. I'm not the biggest Fountain Port fan. My opponent says, well, I'm dumb, I don't know. This scares me. I feel like they have Persist in their hand if they're saying this. Okay, they made the same attack last time. Maybe that's why they're dumb. Not that they are dumb. They should not talk about themselves that way. All right, let's let them trigger Bowmaster once. Another Fable is obviously pretty nice. We're going to go down to 8 life points, I think. Oh, they just didn't play land. Okay, well. I'll take that. So they ping me down to 8. Let's go ahead and go down to 6 life points. Maybe a little scary. Okay. Other card. Just an island. So. We get in there. What I don't like about getting in there is we are dead to Persist. Or getting in there with an Airship. How are we beating a Persist anyways? So let's say we attack with an Airship. No, maybe I could beat it. Could draw an Unholy Heat. I can sack the treasure token. I don't need to use the tower. Not seeing what Shaman sack treasure. Well, I could do that. I could also crew an Airship. I don't get in for any damage if I do that either. Don't we attack with Shaman? Otherwise, we are making more airships. So we could make more airships with the tower. We're going to attack with the Shaman. The question is, do we also attack with an Airship? I don't know. I don't know why I think I can beat a top deck Persist. I mean, I could draw Unholy Heat. I could beat it that way. But if I attack them, say they go down to 9 this turn, then next turn it's going to be really easy to hit them for. Yeah, like next. Oh no, next turn I could just hit them for 16 a lot of the time. Yeah, I could just kill them next turn. I think too often here, especially if they crack this fetch land. That I think we just attack here. What about just attack with a ship? The problem is if we just attack with a ship, then we have to tower to make more ships. So it's not like it doesn't really make sense because then we would have to. It doesn't really make sense because then we would have to sack a token so we couldn't crew with it. So I guess this block does mean I thought they were gonna block with the Tamio. This block does mean that we would need to draw a creature to attack for 16. Although they do crack the fetch down to 12, which is really good for me. Why give them any outs by attacking? Well, the reason to attack would be that we potentially cut off the number of turns they can draw Persist by 1. If we attack here, it's possible that means that they're not going to be able to let's test. Do you think it's worth splashing Rumble and Soul Trader Airship over Overlord? So Rumble is better on turn 2. Overlord is something that you can Phyrexian Tower into. You can sack your treasures to hardcast, and you have an extra grindy tool. That, and then obviously your mana is better with just Overlord. That's the difference. Both are very good in the deck. It's possible you could just try to play both, although the deck gets really tight at that point. So I encourage you to try to weigh the differences in your heart and try to determine which one you think is better, because I'm not 100% sure or anything. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I thought this was also going to chapter 3 here. So, of course not. Okay, let's not loot away this Unholy Heat. This just makes me not too worried about a persist anymore. I think we kill Tamio, and then we just hold up the Heat, and then we let the Phoenix King do its thing. Any interested in Legion Extruder or some artifact cards like Pursuit or Weapons? It's just too... I don't think it's like powerful or... I think it's just too slow, but it's possible. I did play a lot of that card in Cube. Oh, we lost Delirium. I forgot that they spellbombed me. I don't know if my play is any different, but maybe it would be. We actually can't. So one thing, if they do have persist, we can. I guess we could just sack the Fable, which would be easier than what I was thinking. But we could crew. We could use this Fable to crew an airship, and then copy another airship with this Fable to make them all creatures. But I think we're gonna win this one anyways. Why not Heat Bowmasters attack with Shopmanship? Because I thought I had Delirium. I forgot they spellbombed me. So I was trying to save it for Persist. No, they did find one Persist. We Thoughtseized it. Or no, so they discarded it after we had Spellbomb in play. Does Fable reaching chapter 3 count as sacrifice? So it would usually count for sacrifice on a saga that doesn't like transform into a creature. So like Urza Saga would count, but for Fable it doesn't count. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, built differently. GG's. Alright, keeping this. Yeah, I guess that's I spiked the side, aspiring to spike the cider with some ginger and 2 types of rum. I mixed I don't even know what brand it is, but there's a nice bottle of rum left over from the wedding. I did like 50% that, 50% Firebomb. Pretty scientific. Ooh, okay, Urza Saga Ancient Stirrings. There's Brute Scale. Phyrexian Tower to turn to Airship would be fun. Well, do we think they've got Eldrazi Temple in their hand? It really kind of boils down to that. I guess we could also just cast Airship next turn if we just save the treasure. And they do have Eldrazi Temple, so now we get to take both Fleshrakers. So this worked out correctly, I guess. Yeah, the ginger was not misplaced last night. Probably gonna be a fun matchup. My friend filmed a movie I played a part in. Cool. We debuted it on New Year's Eve. It was awesome. That sounds great. Alright. Can't cast that one. Although we do sometimes play K-Command in these decks. Oh, no. We sometimes play this K-Command in these decks, not Kolaghan's Command. You know, to me, the Kolaghan's Command, when I hear K-Command, I still think of Kolaghan's Command. Am I right, guys? The chatter said in 2026. I love Kolaghan's Command. I remember one time I built a Abbot of Carol Keep Kolaghan's Command deck, and it was a Rakdos build, and like returning Snapcaster with Kolaghan's was really good back then, and Abbot of Carol Keep was also a playable solid modern card back then, and I would return Abbot. It was so fun. Alright, equip. Can we play a deck with both? Sure, for the new year, huh? We have played Kolaghan's Command like a little bit this in 2025. It was like, I think for a moment, a pretty good option with how much Steel Cutter there was in the meta. So you could take a look and see if there's gonna be a bunch of Steel Cutter. I think it's fine. All right, so if they have top decked Brute Scale and a Payoff, then we are gonna lose this one. Remember, Thoughtseized Kroxa K command rebuy Kroxa was a good line. Well, Luris being legal was part of that. Luris was such a big part of Kroxa. Those two were just like lovers. They found love in this weird, messed up world. Luris of the Dream Den and Kroxa of whatever. Yeah, we have played K command Airship. It was okay. The mana's a bit weird. I'm really like the red cards really power up the deck a lot. Obviously K command can too, but I feel like I'm feeling this one. Okay, so let's bring in the Break the Ice and the Charmaws. I kind of like this split. Maybe it could be even inverse because this is better on turn 2, this is better on turn 3, but this is better in multiples a lot of the time. Do I want to play Fire Magic? I think my 6 removal spells is probably fine. Let's cut the Nihil Spellbombs even though they can contain Emrakul. I think that our Mana Denial is what we're going to try to use to contain Emrakul. Maybe I want to go down on the Bowmasters. Maybe I actually want to play a Spellbomb over Bowmaster 4. Bowmaster doesn't seem very good. Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Olgan. This hand can be anything. Okay, I was hoping to draw Fetch Land so we could actually use all of the baubles kind of effectively. I'll keep a Fable. And then... I'll cycle all of them. But now, like, the first one was like a Scry. Oh, they have Dismember? I know you have Dismember. I know who you are. Come on. Let's get this over with. I was wrong. Alright, so they got a Rumble on top. Just like the first Bauble scries, the second one sees the first card, and this one sees the last card. Or the card they're drawing next turn, rather. Urza Saga. Got a lot of ways to blow that up. They had a Haywire Might, another Urza Saga, Ghost Quarter, and a basic forest. Oh, by the way, I'm glad that they're playing the Ice Steel version of this Brute Skull deck. I thought that build was really good. Alright, they choose a basic forest. And then next turn, they're drawing a Vista. Okay, so not a lot of information there. I mean, if they have the combo, they've got the combo, I think. I'm going to play... I think we must play the Fable. Oh, I mean, I'm okay with this, too. They play a Wastes. Charmaw would be a nice look here. Okay. Yeah, so let's go Break the Ice on the Wastes. And then kill the constructs. Do you think Rag would be playable if you only made treasure if you hit a land with it? It would have been playable post MH2, probably. Ugh. Curse you, K command. Not the Saga. Well, the Saga's going to die anyways, right? So we kind of get a little bit of a 2-for-1 special. And then we also force the token generation now by targeting the Wastes. I think that they usually just don't play Springleaf Drum, and then we don't really care about them getting Blade because we have so much removal. Yeah, it dies, but they get a permanent, but that permanent's not a land. So like we've just kind of boarded it into a little bit of a land destruction plan. So I think it's good to lean into. So they play another forest. They still have the Vista in their hand. As soon as we have a window, killing that. They did have a nice long think here. If they have a brood scale, they can play an equip. Do I have to wait here? I don't have to do shit. It's 2026. I don't know. I think it's probably better to play the Fable because they have to have the brood scale plus the payoff, and we do know they have another land. I think in theory, like our line makes sense, but I think you have to wait for land. Yeah, maybe. I think it's close, and I think a lot of times when it's close, just jamming ends up being the right play in the long run. Imagine my opponent goes like Eldrazi Temple, Myco Spawn, I lose the game. Imagine if they go land Ice to Explorer, I kind of just lose the game because I haven't done anything. And also they do have to also have a payoff here. So we know one of their two cards in hand is not a payoff. So they can make a big creature and then it dies to Fatal Push. But maybe they have the payoff and maybe we lose. A second blade is not a payoff here. Oh no, it is a payoff. Sorry, it is a payoff. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, we picked the wrong line. KQ ends one. Yeah, it's one of the payoffs. Okay. Game 3 on the play. Yeah, no sweepers. We can top deck to beat the infinite creatures with infinite power. Yeah, on the play. Let's keep this. I think we're going to be fine to play Channeler in turn 1. Your mom lets you have 2 Myco spawns? I think I'd take the Ice Till. I know we have the Fatal Push for it. It's still kind of a pain. Let's go ahead and keep this. I think we'll just get a bit more value using it to maybe find Delirium next turn, and we're probably gonna get to Break the Ice next turn too. Although they could play around the Break the Ice, which would be, I think, kind of unfortunate. That if they don't play the Saga this turn, it's like they should like 9 times out of 10, unless they have like the Break the Ice Soul Read, you know. All right, so graveyard this, and then we'll take a look at the top of our library. I might shuffle before. I don't think I want to draw thoughts. It's not the worst. Because I think I wanted something a bit more proactive here. So we're not gonna need the push up. We can probably surveil. Don't need this push, and then that's delirium, and then we get to break some ice. And yeah, I think again, a bit more proactive is what we want. If I knew I could draw that and the Thoughtseize, maybe I would have taken it. I guess they are going to get to Bajuka Bog meme. Not the biggest deal, yo. Seems okay to keep, actually. Yeah, seems fine to keep here. Let's see what they're drawing. They're drawing a Rumble. So we're going to draw the Airship, and then we'll probably end up looting away the Meltdown. They're going to go Temple into Myco Spawn here. And then their hand's going to be Forest, Myco Spawn, 3 mystery cards. It's a lot of action. All right, let's go ahead and loot away 1, 2. We draw Dreams of Steel and Oil. So I guess I will Dreams the other Myco Spawn away, then probably Fatal Push this one, depending on what we see, I suppose. I think we Graveyard kind of close also again. They have another Myco Spawn. So exiling the Ice Toll is also kind of nice. I think we need to get kind of aggressive here, especially because they've already used Bajuka Bog. Oh, sorry, I need to use the Treasure for Revolt. Almost forgot that. So there's a land for Delirium, and then we can already Airship and trigger Airship next turn. I don't think we need or want that. They're down to 9. Although I guess if they kick the Myco Spawn, we won't be able to. They'll probably start off with Rumble, though. With all the decks that main consign, I'm surprised people still play Eldrazi. The thing is, it's like, a lot of the decks that main deck consign, archetypally, are very weak to Eldrazi. And so they're archetypally very weak to Eldrazi, but they have consign, and so they have a really efficient 1-for-1. But like just having a really efficient 1-for-1, 4 copies of your deck, doesn't exactly mean that you have a favorable matchup. And then also, like, you know, there's not that many main deck consign decks, but it's like I like, it's not that the matchup is super lopsided one way or another, but if I was playing an Eldrazi deck and I was playing against Jeskai Blink with 4 main deck consigns, I would feel okay. Did it up to K command? I really hope this is just them having a hard time with this Myco Spawn for some reason. But it really looks like it's a K command. Okay. Well, this one is a Myco Spawn. And them getting another temple means they did top deck the K command, which sucks. I'm so tired of getting top deck K command top decked, whatever. I wonder if they're gonna exile stuff from my graveyard here. We're definitely not in the worst shape ever. How about when they bring in Cyber Charmaw, start blinking? Yeah, I mean, the matchup is better for them post board, but like I don't know who it is whose favorite game won. I don't think Jeskai might even be like slightly favored against Eldrazi, but the matchup is just it's not like they have consigns and Charmaws, like just can't play the deck. Like archetypally, you're still like pretty good against them. Right, they make spawns and they exile my channeler. So their hand is Shifting Woodland, Rumble, Mystery, or no mystery card. So it seems like their plan is to rumble into Emrakul. So maybe Charmaw on Temple. I mean, it seems like they probably still have enough, actually. So let me attack with just the channel. Well, I guess I need to say if I'm playing the Airship, actually. Okay, so they have 5 cards in their graveyard. If they rumble, they're going to have 6 types. They can easily Emrakul. Does the Charmaw even do anything? I don't know. Is the Airship good against Karn? So I attack them down to 6. I've got 2 Airships. That's kind of good. And then I can maybe go like Charmaw plus copy Charmaw next turn. Anyways. Killing this is maybe better against top deck K command. Maybe if I could kill a forest, it would be nice too because of the Shifting Woodland. Because like one problem could be like they rumble into over Blade, and they put Broodscale in their hand, or vice versa, and the Woodland becomes one copy of that. But I think I'm gonna play the Airship because I think it's a little bit better against Emrakul, which seems like what they're playing too. Let me know if you would do something else here. Or if you would play the Charmaw. I know Charmaw, we definitely it fires our neurons to blow up a land. Not the worst pickup just because it's a flyer. I think I'd rather maybe have something that triggers Airship, maybe not, but. Is Chandra Spark Hunter too cute? I know Footman Walkers used to be good at Modern. I don't even know what that card does. But I mean, Airship is your new Planeswalker. They rumble, they do hit Emrakul, so we have a party here. We got a party with Canister with the raid. Happy New Year to all the faithless looters out there. Someone has suggested Chandra Spark Hunter. I'm reading the card now. Beginning of combat, choose up to one vehicle you control. Ah, this is why you want it. It becomes an artifact, gains haste. You may sack an artifact or discard a card. If you do, draw a card, make a vehicle, crew one. We're seeing if we can beat the Emrakul here. Yeah, I mean, this card seems awful, honestly. They don't really have anything too crazy for the woodland. We're at a pretty notable 14 life points. Oh, no, no, no! Oh my gosh. Sorry, I was reading too much, and I thought that they would not attack with this Microspawn because we could just crew the airship, and then they got me on the F6. So do I have to block? I don't think I should. So on my turn, they can block just the channeler, or they can block the reflection. Actually, this was such a bad attack because they could have eaten the reflection with this. They said Punta Maya, nice to play against you, nice to play against you too. But yeah, I think they're dead, right? Because they can block one of my flyers here, and then I can just, well, no, they block here, and then I can only attack for like 4 next turn. Damn it! So I get really punished for not keeping the channeler, I guess. Well, let's see what happens here. They might think they can blow up my own land, although it would still just be better to have this in play anyways. So we draw Ragavan. I guess this means if I draw a land, we can get there because we go with just Charmaw, Ragavan, copy. It's 3 flying hasters. Yeah, I know they can't blow them up, but they might think I can't. They can, you know. They'll probably read. All right, so they do attack with a channeler. They chomp it up with the Emrakul. A land is a lethal top deck. This sacrifices end of turn, right? Yeah. I drew Unholy Heat instead of a land. Probably always casting the Charmaw, huh? I think I just do this. Okay, just a Microspawn. They do have a mystery card in their hand too, in addition to this Microspawn. Okay, that's the mystery card. So we've got rid of the bog and the woodland. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're gonna get a saga and then get rid of one of my lands. But yeah, they're dead to the. Because I'm gonna have 3 haste. They're gonna kill 1 land, but then the Ragavan crew plus 2 Charmaws is lethal, right? Maybe they would like bank on me getting got by Ghost Quarter. I do have a swamp still in the deck. There's 1 in exile, then 1 still in the deck. I don't know if they have. Oh, they get a second Ghost Quarter. Well, that's pretty good. Great play. So I guess we are needing a land. Untapped red land. I didn't mean to click no on the first one. All right, big draw step. Remember, airship only triggers on your turn. Oh, I guess sacrificing an step wouldn't trigger anyway, so. Okay, so I guess our move is to try to make a Charmaw end of turn then. Dang, even if I just had a red source. Even if I just had a red source, I could just crew with this, huh? And then that would be enough. But my mountain's in the yard. So let's, maybe they'll just not draw anything insane this turn. There's another Emrakul? Another Emrakul's kind of funny. They tapped a K command. Brutal. So they are scry drawing, so they aren't doing anything else this turn at least. Don't know how much that matters at this point. Oh wait, I'm just dead, right? They just yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just dead, aren't I? I go block, block, take 13, or block here, take 9. I guess if I double block Emrakul, I'm not dead. Am I? I take 5 from the Emrakul. I take exactly 11. Dang. That's my life total. Yeah, I guess I was dead on board already. Was I dead on board last turn? Okay, they missed it again. Thankfully, I missed it too. Incredibly close game though. Good match. I have not liked Raven Eagle. It hasn't been like the worst card ever, but not a fan. All right, keep this on 6 on the play. I'm not like a big fan of Fable in general, but I do think this is a good Fable deck. Went from Inquisition being the best discard spell in Modern to nearly unplayable. Yeah, that's true. Okay, glad to get to test against Boros. Let's start off with a dream. I dreamed a dream of steel and oil. Okay, don't need a third removal spell. This bombardment's obviously scary. I think I'll just push now. Airship is a really important tool in this matchup. Is it an important tool in this game? It's a little bit weird, obviously, with the... Yeah, I think it's just too high on the curve to draw right now. They get a basic. They play the bombardment instead of the voice of victory, which is unfortunately really good. Guess I'm graveyarding that. I kind of think I should probably sack the Spellbomb main phase. Like if I hit a land, especially a fetch land for a Surveil or a Surveil land or a Bauble, it's better. It's worse if they've drawn Flage, of course, but we still restrict that a little bit. And then they're going to play Voice of Victory, and I'm not going to be able to kill it on their turn. We're sort of in a similar position, but now we do have an extra draw step plus a Surveil. I think at this point we probably need to keep it. I think it's very borderline. Like the Bauble draw is really moving the needle on me. Okay, well, there's a Najani on top, which sucks. Although if they just, I guess we kind of trade. No, it's still 2 for 1 because we have to heat the Ajani, and then they get to kill the Channeler here. So we get very punished for cracking the Spellbomb main phase. Although also kind of rewarded because we hit the Bauble. Not like the end of the world too, because we have the heat for the Ajani and we have the fatal push for the voice, and we've got airship coming potentially, so it's an interesting draw. So it has Thraben Charm, Flooded Strand, Voice of Victory. Or did they already crack one of the strands? Yeah, no, they didn't. So I could push this Guide of Souls now so that I could draw Fetch Land and play Airship. The Voice of Victory obviously is a little bit out of control with the bombardment, but we do have several top decks that can either deal with it or kind of like I could just get the Airship going and kind of ignore it. I think just because I've got the Airship in the hand, this is probably fine, but I'm not 100% sure. Like if I draw the fetch land, I'll feel happier. Okay, happier. Although having to shock here because the other swamps in the yard is pretty tough. Maybe I should have taken that into account. Although I think I still have the mountain in the deck. Yeah. Although maybe the airship is just going to be to do nothing here unless I top deck a creature. Okay, well they top deck another Johnny, so it does not fucking matter. All right, so we're gonna bring in the Trespassers and the Fire Magics, and then I think I want to be going down on some amount of Thoughtseize and Ragavan. So I think I want to play. Thoughtseize does kind of get better post board because they sometimes bring in these 4-drops. I think I want to play 1 Ragavan, 2 Thoughtseize. Looks pretty good, I think. Maybe we're supposed to be playing like 1 more Ragavan because we're on the play. I think I'm kind of talking myself into it a little bit. Then on the draw, maybe we'll swap them back. Okay, on the play. I think this is we have 3 Surveillance in our deck kind of keep. Ragavan is so bad against Boros. Yes and no. Like, Ragavan is usually good on the play against Boros. It's good on the play, especially when backed up in a deck full of like removal spells and discard spells. I agree that it's much worse on the draw. Maybe we even went 0 on the draw. Thoughtseize I think is also not very good against Boros. It's okay. It's just this is a matchup where it's very important to have good top decks in the late game. And Ragavan is at least like a top deck that does something. Yeah, this is more card selection, which is kind of all we care about at the moment. Yeah, so we don't want another land. Sure. You have 1-2 hits before Season Pyromancer comes down. His again. Yeah, I understand. Although you could discard the Season Pyromancer sometimes. And honestly, if you get 1 or 2 hits off Ragavan against Boros, like that was a good Ragavan, right? Typically, I try to play this post Flaze if I can. Not that you always have that luxury. They have the Ajani. We have the Fire Magic now, which is nice. Be kind of sad if they just do nothing here. Well, if they've got a discharge to flip the Ajani, it's not super ideal. But I think we're supposed to cast this here. Nice. All right, also nice. Love having the best 2 possible top decks, 2 turns in a row. My heart is open to getting Mana Tithed here. We've been Mana Tithed by Boros a bunch lately. They could also have like a Purge or a Wear Tear or something like that. Yeah. It's fine. I do think you're supposed to jam there. We're ready for the Entomb. We're ready for the Entomb. They do keep a card on top. All right, nice. Everything besides this Purge is kind of going our way so far. So they have a Sunbait Canyon in play. I should probably play this Blood Crypt. And now that I'm thinking about it, why doesn't Boros play Sunbait Canyon more often? Isn't Sunbait Canyon just isn't it just great? You gain so much life and you just run out of gas so often. All right, they discard their last card. Kind of a 3-for-1 off the Trespasser here. And now we're in a spot where if they draw Flage, they can't kill the Trespasser because they're top deck. Oh, I guess they can because of the Canyon. Canyon's so good. Maybe I should have run up the Bowmaster earlier, but like they were gonna sack the Canyon. What land am I running it over? I mean, I don't know. It might just be the best land in the deck, right? It just and there's untapped fixes for all your colors. You could play it over a fetch land or. Oh, I guess the problem is Arena of Glory. That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, then maybe that's too much of a problem. It costs 1 to draw. They won't have the mana. I don't know what this means. Yeah, the arena's I guess the issue. Stupid image 3. Alright, hold the Blood Crypt for Fable. "12 fetches." Yeah, you could play like 2 less fetches pretty comfortably. So now they do have they do have the card in hand to discard for the Trespasser because of this Sunbait Canyon. Although they need a land to Flage, but they're also gonna get oh my gosh, no one thinks you can crew Airship. This is a mega bungo punt here. The best possible draw again. 12 fetches feels to go Flage. Yeah, I mean Sunbait Canyon's not bad with Flage either. I think it's probably just worth thinking about. Maybe it sounds like you've already thought about it a bunch. All right, let's do no Ragavans on the draw. Is Trespasser the only card that really broke out of the new Innistrad block? So this was when we did the trophy race, and part of me doing the trophy race was because the set was so bad for Modern. We trophied with Edgar Charmed Groom. We trophied with Edgar. Was not very good. It was like our first trophy race trophy. There's usually like 1 or 2 cards you forget. Yeah, we've definitely played a lot of Rakdos. Oh, Cultivator Colossus. Definitely a modern card. Meathook Massacre every once in a while. Adeline saw some play in Humans, and Humans was bad. We did Champion of the Parish some. We played some zombies. Not not exactly very high on the tier list here. Yeah, Epicer. Epicer is a pretty big deal, actually. Path to Peril. There's always more than you think. All right, game 3 on the draw against Boros. They're on a mull to 6. I think we have to mulligan as well. And then probably have to keep this on 6. Got a lot of good pieces. We're on the draw with the Surveil. Not the worst. We need to draw some lands, but I think we can't go to 5. I would probably mulligan this on 7, right? Mulligan and 7, keep on 6. So let's go ahead and crack the Bauble. We could, if we miss a land, then it's better to have not cracked the Bauble because of the DRC. But yeah, we consider was Innistrad. Oh, also Mending, Faithful Mending. Yeah, I've won a challenge with that card, right? Top 8'd also with Phoenix with Mending. Okay, we did draw a land. Holding up Fatal Push this turn, kind of important for the Johnny. And then also maybe just not playing DRC into the bombardment without Delirium is kind of important if they have a Johnny anyways. They've got a Voice of Victory. 4 cards in their hand. They missed their land drop, so their mulligan's not perfect either, I guess. Although they do have 4 spells. We do find a land. So definitely, oh my gosh, sorry. This was silly while they have bombardment in play. Maybe we'll find Delirium anyways, although we only have one type at the moment. There's a Fable. If I surveil it in the yard, the thing is they just respawn. So we'll crack the fetch. Just says 3 types. We'll try to look for another type here. I just needed to push first. Sorry. And then we don't have Delirium. So do I push? I guess I have to push still. We just lose the Channeler. Exclamation point TPS. Oh my gosh. They let me surveil. Where are their bosses? Wait, did they sack it all? They didn't even sack. I guess sometimes you just make a mistake so confidently they don't get you. Alright, so they can kill the stupid Channeler again. I guess they must have had that last turn too, and then they chose to play the voice first. Alright, big draw step. Fetch land would be good. We draw another Channeler. So I think we'll play the Channeler because it can pressure the Johnny kind of well in the air. Kind of seemed like they were trying to cast a prismatic ending there. Purge. So I guess we target the Ajani with the Bowmaster. If we target the cat, they just sack and we'd have nothing. But if we target the Ajani, it's down to 2 loyalty, and then we do force a block, and then the Ajani goes to 1. So that definitely seems like the better place to target. And then maybe we can go Graveyard Trespasser and then clear the board with Fire Magic next turn. Maybe that was just supposed to be the move anyways. Yeah, they probably want to block the opposite way. Yeah, like this. Yeah, I guess it doesn't put the Johnny to 1, it puts it to 2. Oh, okay, and then they just don't sack with the bombardment again. So another little mistake from opponent. It's kind of classic. I mean, not that we played very well this game either, but it's always tough when they make sequencing mistakes and you're still pretty behind. All right, so they do get to kill my Graveyard Trespasser. Bowmaster, I guess, would be good because we just kill the Ajani too. Big draw step. Draw Fable. I think I Dreams and Fire Magic here. The Celestial Purge is good to know about, but so I guess I should wait on this Fire Magic. Although now it's just so telegraphed, maybe. Okay. Right there. Remember the bombardment this time. I do think I telegraphed the Fire Magic really hard, and that's why they plus 2'd. They drew the Ragavan. So now they have a 3rd mana. Do they hit a relevant card? They hit a Phoenix Fleet Airship. So I guess that would have been a bad draw for me. We're still hoping to draw a fetch land here, which can let the Airship finish off the Ajani. Nice. So we're going to take a hit here, but then we get to go Fable, kill the Ajani. Hopefully stabilize a little bit. And then also my opponent is tapped out of Celestial Purge, so we get the Airship online through the Purge. Cool game. Good game. So they drew Sunbait Canyon. Their hand is Celestial Purge Ragavan. They're going to dash the Ragavan. They're going to hit me down to 11. They're going to Johnny me down to 9. I guess they can save the Johnny with the Airship if I don't draw another crew member or an Unholy Heat if they purge after I attack, which is bad news. They hit another airship, which they're 1 mana away from casting. Happy 2026 to you too, Dodo. Happy 2026, everybody. Draw another Fable. Hand's pretty forced here, I think. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to not attack, because then they just purge the Shaman. But am I dead? I'm going to get for 3 with the Ajani, down to 6. Ragavan down to 4, and then I guess I'm not exactly dead. They also might mess up on the purge. I don't think it's the hardest, or I don't think it's a super easy mistake to make. Okay, they made the mistake. Great. Now, we haven't sacked a permanent this turn. That's okay, though. We'll take this. Second favorite set from 2025 behind EOE. I think definitely Avatar. You know, I wanted to do a bit of a year in review video. I've got too much going on, non-Magic related, to get that done. But I think overall it was a really good year for sets. I really liked Avatar and Edge of Eternity, 2 of the best sets ever. Through the Omen Pass, although worst set ever in my opinion. Like literally, I think my least favorite Magic set since I've been playing Magic. Oh, they top deck a Spyro. Although they did not get to dash the Ragavan. Still a big problem. Yeah, I think Edge is my Edge is my favorite, and Omen Pass, so Spider-Man my least favorite ever. Although I do think I liked Aether Drift a lot. A lot of people didn't like Aether Drift. I liked Aether Drift. I guess I keep the Bauble to be able to leave my blockers back and trigger the airship. Yeah, I like Dragonstorm a lot. I think Dragonstorm is a great addition to Modern. I like Spider-Man more than Aether Drift also sold more. Yeah, I mean, I'll say I never care about this made more money at this point, but it's fine to like it more. I kind of feel like this attack means they're trying to like kill an airship. Obviously, like maybe obviously is not the right word, but that's what it seems like. And my life total is low enough with them having bombardment in play. I think I'm okay with that. Like if they're trying to like ping an airship down with like this Ragavan and this one, like I'm pretty happy that the airship gets to absorb that much damage potentially. Crew both in double block. If you could tell me like what the purpose of a double block versus a single block, because the problem with a double block is if both my airships die, I lose the game. So that's a big problem. So what is the advantage of the double block here? Just chatting, fair enough. So they don't play the Ragavan. Do I want to keep this Dragon Rage's Channeler? I really, really want to draw Graveyard Trespasser to gain a little bit more life. I think I don't want the Channeler. Sorry, Channeler. Can I attack with both? I think I can. I can attack with both. Although, I guess the known Ragavan actually means I probably just want to attack with one here. Even with the Unholy Heat in my hand. Some good matches this league. Long matches, too. Alright, we'll make a green mana. Because we're quirky. And then the tower is technically good if they play a Flage or a Discharge. You can deny the life gain or the energy from those cards if they target a creature. It really comes down to how you measure best. Final Fantasy brought more people to the game than any set in history. The value has some people. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. For me personally, I didn't connect with Final Fantasy very well as someone who doesn't know much about the IP, and as someone who is pretty critical of the Universe Beyond sets having such a high density of legendary creatures. I think that of all the complaints I see people make about Universe Beyond in general, one criticism I think is really valid that I basically never see is that I like the design of sets that are just so full of legendary creatures. It gets old, and it's I think not that interesting for 60 card constructed. Dude, Airship is just so hard to beat once it gets going. I guess they can, if I block with the Airship, they can sack their cat and their Spyro to kill my Airship, but then they would have no board, and then I would have double reflection going. Is that a trade I'm willing to make here? One thing that's kind of fun too is I could go block, and if they ping before damage, then I can heat the Ragavan. I could heat no, I don't think heating like cat token makes sense. I think I'm okay if they lose their whole board and I have double reflection going, but why not Phyrexian Tower to deny? Because they have to spend an extra energy, right? They had one energy in their pool. And so if I sack the Phyrexian Tower, then I don't deny. I just leave them with an energy in the pool, right? As a commander player, I say that a lot of decks barely play any non-legends anymore, which is crazy. Yeah. You know, as someone who used to be a big commander player, and I haven't been a big commander player in a long time, but as someone who used to be, I always found that like one thing I enjoyed about the format was that most of the legends weren't really designed for the format. I kind of always thought it was cool. I guess I should have copied a reflection earlier, because now I'm gonna activate and then they're gonna kill. Does it make sense to? Does it ever make sense to wait? I guess it does. It just does make sense to wait now. I've drawn another Thoughtseize. So yeah, I think because we could just do like the Pro Tour Reed Duke thing where they kill one of my reflections, but it doesn't really matter because we are just gonna perpetually keep our copy around, right? I wonder if the legend rule will get another update, though I have no idea what might be changed. I don't know. I don't think that's really a problem with the rule. All right, well, not out of the frying pan or the fire quite yet. So they're going to activate Mr. Season Pyromancer. They're going to be down to 4. And then I don't need to make a copy right now, right? Because I guess the upside to making a copy is if they draw a removal spell. But if they kill this in response, then I just make a copy here. Are we dead to Flage? Flage. We're not dead to Flage, no. Or at least not a drawn Flage. We're dead to a surveilled Flage. Oh, we have heat. We have heat, so also not dead to that. So I think we handled that as nicely as we could have, except for the fact that we should have not let them just play a non-fetch land there to have that available, right? Maybe I should have responded there too to the draw. Okay, well, but they don't have anything. I guess we're beating a removal spell anyways, but we probably should have still responded. Long match, really good match. That was a, you know, you don't always have like really, really good, interesting games against Boros, but I do think that these black mid-range decks usually do, and you definitely can find formulas that the matchup can feel pretty solid. We also got like so mega mondo punished by cracking our Nihil Spellbomb main phase that like if we hadn't done that, that whole game would have been so much easier. So, and I probably should have been able to play around the Ajani there, even though we had like Thoughtseize them and we didn't know it was there. I think playing around it like that game would have just been so much easier. I hope this is mono red Roku, but no, it's a Storm variant. Hey, sweetie. Yeah, I would love some. I was really just feeling thirsty, so it's coming at a good time.
Well, I don't know if orange juice will parch your thirst, but as well as water would.
That's hard to say. I don't think we have the numbers on that. I mean, Mono Red Belcher is a pretty poor matchup. Did not come prepared for it, nor have I seen it in a very long time. Could be dead right now. Okay. We live to fight another day here. Maybe I should have kept the Nihil Spellbomb as like a 2-mana opt. Seems like that would help them. I guess we'll not. We can surveil off the Mire. We don't need to surveil off the Blood Moon. Probably a good time to be playing Red Belcher. It's like there's not very many counter spells in the format at the moment. Counter magic feels like kind of at an all-time low, and the blue Belcher decks are like a lot more vulnerable to lock pieces and like grindier games because they're slower. But this just can end games a good bit faster. Plus, you get to play the Storm Dragon. They discard an Ironcrag Feat, so they should have plenty of mana, but they maybe don't have a payoff. Although I don't know that they're keeping a one-lander without a payoff. Where did creativity go? We played against it this morning. I mean, it's not very good is the short answer. It's like I think that the deck is very bad against Boros and Prowess, for example, and it's very bad. I think it's also bad against Storm and Titan. Maybe I guess sorry, I should have heated the Ragavan just for Delirium and the Surveil. Although if they just it's not going to matter too much if they're casting Ironcrag Feat. Yeah. All right, game 2. So I think that those matchups are very bad. Now, to be fair, the creativity players, they will all tell you that their Boros and Prowess matchups are good, actually. Is this true? I'm doubtful, but they're very confident, so there's that. Okay, we have basically nothing. They don't usually play Rouse, so I think I'm cutting all the creature removal. I guess I am playing a Meltdown for the Rubies. And I think we were playing Trespassers and Charmaws because they just kind of technically have text. Again, this is not a deck I've seen in a very long time. We're gonna be trying to have discard spells plus like Ragavans and gonna be mulliganing kind of aggressively. This hand's got a bunch of discard spells, so we're gonna definitely keep. But I think their deck choice is interesting. I think that there's a chance that it's secretly pretty good. All right, so they have 1, 2, 3 MDFCs, so probably not taking one of those. They have Brotherhood in, which is kind of interesting. I guess we could take 2 of the MDFCs. We could strand them a little bit. Like, I don't hate that choice. It's not like really any of these other cards are very scary. Is Crusader a playable modern card again with how low Fatal pushes in the format? Maybe. It's Crusader is like so much better if you can incidentally buff it somehow. I don't exactly know how that would be, but it just is so much better if you have like Cauldron or something like that. They drew another MDFC. I think I'm still taking one. And they also have like the Striker Rich on top. So I gotta wait a little bit on this to try to take a dragon. Let's cycle a Spellbomb, get rid of the Strike It Rich. Charmaw might weirdly be great this game. Maybe it's better than Trespasser. I mean, it's 5 mana. Such a weird game. All right, let's Thoughtseize again. Let's see if we draw Ragavan, which we would dash. I could play the Channeler and let it die to Brotherhood End for no values. I guess let's not. This Dreams is pretty dead because like they're just gonna kill me with Belcher or a Dragon if they top deck it. There's a Ragavan. Ragavan's generally pretty good. I think I'll go ahead and play the Channeler. I mean, if they want, I think this turn maybe making them use the Brotherhood End instead of casting something like Valakut Awakening could be a little bit relevant. And my opponent doesn't. So why don't we go dash Ragavan, then sack Channeler to Phyrexian Tower, and then just never give them a good Brotherhood end. Although we could have let them draw another Brotherhood end. Any, mini, money. I guess they could have a dragon. No, dragon costs 6. They could have dragon. Ooh. I guess we don't want to put that in their graveyard. Let's just take a peek. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I guess let's go Meltdown. I guess we'll use the treasure token. Not really the most relevant since they just have so many rituals, but if they don't top deck a payoff, we're gonna win the game. And if they do, we're gonna lose the game. Okay. I guess we'll play around drawing a bit of reunion in the future. Suppose I could have played it. Anyways, despite not being able to draw cards. Going to game 3. All right, Charmaw was. I'm gonna play the third Charmaw just because these Trespassers died to all these Brotherhood ends. Dumb game. Yeah, I'm not gonna play to try to Unholy Heat any Hellkites or wait, Stormscale Scions. We got no Ragavan, we got no discard spells, we got no keep. We got a discard spell. Oh, we got a Thoughtseize and a prayer against a 7-card hand. And that's all you need, baby. Alright, now we can Nihil Spellbomb the Strike It Rich. It's all coming together. No, Ashiok basically does nothing against them. Like, pretty close to a blank card. Alright, so they have 2 MDFCs. I think we just take the Belcher and hope they don't draw a payoff. Oh, I just noticed my opponent's Jade Avenging. Cool. No flashback for you. It's weird that they're not just cycling the Metamorphose. I feel like I would have definitely cycled both these games in situations my opponent didn't. They play Valakut Stoneforge tab, so like maybe they do have the payoff. I'm gonna cast the Fable, even though they do have Metamorphose. It also just kind of does seem like they have another Belcher in their hand, exactly. Although maybe not. I guess they would have just Ritual Belchered that turn. Maybe Metamorphose this turn. Maybe they like value Pinnacle Monk. They play a Ruby Medallion. Then they play a Ritual. And then more than I can handle. More than I can chew. All right, that matchup very tough, very obscure. I could not tell you the last time we played against Red Belcher. No, yeah, no like K command for. I guess Meltdown could technically answer Resolve Belcher. No, this is a hand of magic cards. Opponent's keeping 7 on the play. I did come a little unprepared for Domain Zoo. I was kind of thinking maybe I'll just board in Shatterstorm and see how that goes. I don't know. I don't know if I still like that this is my plan, but I think that's okay. I just didn't feel like I had room to like main deck the edicts and stuff. We also have like 6 discard spells. They keep a card on top. Because I was thinking about like playing Damnation over Shatterstorm to help this matchup and then help the affinity matchup. And I just kind of decided to do the inverse, where it's like, so like Damnation kills all my creatures against affinity, which sucks. Damnation's a little bit better in this matchup, but it's like maybe I'll just play the Shatterstorm. Although I think it's awkward the Phoenix Fleet airships too. Maybe big airship can sometimes beat Leyline Scion. Maybe that's even just a better plan. Is say you can have Leyline Scion. If you want to try to mulligan to it, I have 6 discard spells. And if you're trying to top deck it, we can try to out airship you. Okay, let's play 1 Shatterstorm over Bowmaster 4 and try this. So let's keep our 7. If they don't play a leyline, we don't need to prioritize the Thoughtseize quite as much. One thing is, we kind of do want to Thoughtseize turn 1, so we can Bowmaster a Ragavan on turn 2. It's like pretty awkward if we DRC turn 1 and then we don't get to Thoughtseize. They do keep another 7 card leyline hand, but let's go for the Thoughtseize. Okay, we'll try to play around that Flage a little bit by not DRCing necessarily. New Year's Eve party was good, Infernape. Thanks for asking. I'm pretty sleepy, but wanted to be here today. So they lead on a Thundering Falls. Keep a card on top. Happy New Year, opposite day. Or happy old day, more like. Am I okay running out the Channeler even though it's going to get flaged? I don't think so. An opposite day with the 10 taken subs from me. Okay, we want to draw that because they have the flage. So I'll save this Raucous Theater, I think. If you got a taken sub from its opposite day, make sure to thank them. Or make sure to curse them. Do you have any thoughts on Priest of the Forgotten Gods? I had a lot of fun brewing with that card. Okay, I guess now that we drew the Spellbomb, we're just going to run out the Bowmaster and kind of incentivize them to play the Flage before they can stubborn denial me, maybe. I had a lot of fun with Priest of Forgotten Gods and Agatha's Soul Cauldron. I think that Edict effects in general got a lot worse with Boros, just Ocelot Pride and a Johnny, and then also Raptor at a time for a time, are all just so good against Edict effects that it's kind of tough when your creature control card sucks against the main creature deck, and it's also bad against Steel Cutter sometimes. But I do have a lot of fond memories of that brew. Maybe I play the Channeler out. They have stubs. We need to play our non-theater land here. Any chance you revisit Crime Novelist? You know, Crime Novelist, I liked that card. And the Crime Novelist deck I spent so much time working on off stream, and then it was just one of those. I spend infinite hours off stream on it. Not infinite. I spent a long time off stream on it. People did not like the deck, and then I played it for like 1 league or something. But I did really like the Crime Novelist deck. I thought it was really fun, and I do think that there's like certainly a lot of stuff that's happened since that deck that could make the Crime Novelist better. We kind of Crime Novelist plus Obsessive Pursuit's kind of cool. Doesn't seem like very likely to be like a real thing, but maybe one day. So play the Flooded Strand. All right, so they 1-for-1 with the DRC. We got a lot of surveils. I think that was fine. We don't know about a creature in their hand. Their hand Stub, Arid Mesa, Mystery card. Is the Dreams of Steel and Oil ever going to be hit any card after this turn? Probably not. Let's see what we're drawing. Seems okay. I'm going to go ahead and cast this, even though Inquisition would probably be better, yeah. I guess maybe the heat didn't make sense because of the stub. It's probably okay. So what could I hit off the Ragavan that would make the Bowmaster cast bad? Like to sideboard to fairy, maybe. I couldn't cast Scion of Draco either way. Okay, well now we heat this. And we can pay for stub, and then now we don't want a Bowmaster first, so we can hit a Kavu or something like that. I'm looking for a way to bridge the gap between Guide, Pride, Airship, and Priest. Look intriguing. I would say intriguing. Do I want to cast this? This turns off my Bowmaster ETB that's in my hand. It makes their Flages online. It's not. So I agree, kind of interesting, although honestly I feel like the answer might just be like Night's Whisper. I was pretty close to playing Night's Whisper in this deck. Like you just kind of need a little bit more cards with Airship sometimes. New year, new Ragavan. MKM cards see some of the most play outside of any non-modern Horizon set. It's the Surveillance. Yeah. Night's Whisper or Deadly Dispute. I mean, either, I guess. I do think Deadly Dispute probably could have made its way in some of the Airship builds. We're gonna be playing or eventually we're gonna figure out the. Okay, this is interesting. We need to play the Airship first because of stub. Eventually we're gonna play the Viper Obsessive Pursuit deck that hopefully will play Oni Cult Anvil. I'm gonna work on that tonight, and that can probably be the before challenge deck for tomorrow. It's weird Night's Whisper hasn't been power crept. Yeah, it's kind of hard to power creep. Turn 1 Pride, turn 2 Cat, turn 3 Dispute Airship sounds fantastic. I mean, you need like also a Phyrexian Tower, but I'm just worried about Deadly Dispute being bad if you didn't exactly connect with an Ocelot Pride. That's also an issue, right? Okay, so they get pretty flooded game 2. Let's go to game 3. Probably should actually have some Trespassers, right? I guess Trespasser is like... Is it... We probably want like 2 Spellbomb, 3 Trespasser. Or maybe we just want 0 Bowmaster despite them having Ragavan. Yeah, it's probably just better. Is there a Village Rights type card that sacks lands? Well, there's one that discards a land for 2 cards, but I know you're asking because of Earthbending. Also play a Johnny Bowmaster. I mean, that's fair, but also like at that point you're just Mardu energy. You're not like I don't know that you're gonna be playing Deadly Dispute instead of Bombardment or have room for like that plus interaction plus Airship. And I do think Mardu energy with Airship could be good, but I don't think I'm gonna be the gamer to play it. You're asking for triggering Airship? Oh, I see. I don't think that there's like Sacalandro too, like as a sorcery. Oh, okay, I guess Highway Robbery. Played a lot of that card actually. So they can't Scion of Draco next turn, so I guess we can pretty comfortably Ragavan. Okay, Highway Robbery it is. Better if you have things to discard for value, of course. Right, they did mulligan this game. Let's see what the contents of their hand looks like. Or no, we should Fatal Push first, just in case we hit a 2-drop. We're basically always going to fatal push there, right? That's a 2-drop. 2-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop. What a mulligan. I guess I take a Doorkeeper Thrill because I have a heat for the second. This is like maybe the oddest Domain Zoo draw I've ever seen. Probably was correct to keep on a 6. So yeah, we get to Airship. That's the best top deck. Opponent, can you just go ahead? I'll put this in my graveyard. I'll tap you tap your mana. I'll tap my mana. Is there any card I could see off Ragavan that would stray me from the righteous path of Phoenix Fleet Airship? Not you, sweet lightning bolt. Yeah, Ragavan Airship. I know it's like so simple, but like it's kind of crazy. This is the first time we're playing these two cards together. So they're gonna play one of their 2 Flages probably. Is it better to attack with Ragavan or is it better to crew an airship? Probably better to attack with Ragavan. The treasures are pretty valuable. We could hit something. Ah, welcome back. And we ended up doing more damage anyways. I passed out last night watching Moto. The things that you could say on January 1st. Sure. Woke up to the Luris band video completely hungover. That's funny. Alright, so if they draw fetch land, they can escape Flage. They're just Flage 2 mystery cards right now. They draw a Surveil land, but it does give them domain, so if they're 1 mystery card with Scion, they can now cast it. And so they pass. It's a little bit better against a stub, I think, to play that first. It's pretty marginal. I think we're going to win this match. I become the Phoenix King. Happy New Year. I think we're going to do another league after this. I'm pretty sleepy from last night, but we also did kind of an early stream yesterday too. I want to keep going. Don't think we're going to add Mono Red Belcher Hate. Could just lose to that again.